Okay, so while we're on the topic of conspiracies, I figured I'd go ahead and bring out some of the big guns and clear up some of the more major confusions in the general community in this regard. A lot of people out there that are concerned with these conspiracy theories, most especially the conspiracy theory fanatics, are going to have a big obsession with this Illuminati. Now, it's important for the initiative to make clear to these people, to you, whomever may be watching. We know that there are a lot of you conspiracy fanatics out there. I know you. I know who you are. I see you. But even though you try to hide, a lot of you try to hide, and it's funny that the conspiracy theory fanatics are going to try and hide that, which it's perfectly understandable considering that and people have made a mockery of it nowadays, and that is in and of itself a conspiracy. I mean, we'll go ahead and get to that, but right now, the Illuminati. A lot of you are going to go ahead and you're going to blame all your woes on the Illuminati and the all-seeing eye. They're all powerful. They're watching over everything. They're the group of elitist individuals behind, you know, the puppet masters pulling the strings behind all the red flag events and all that hoopla. The Illuminati, if they still exist at all, are no longer in the game. They're broken, they're fractured, they're down and out, they're in hiding, they're no longer functional. We have sources, we have reports coming in from our own operatives suggesting that there may in fact actually still be scattered Illuminati operatives in play out there in the network operating, and we do have certain sources that claim to be involved with factions of what remains of the Illuminati, but we cannot, it's not something we can really speak to aptly. I can't tell you for certain one way or another because we really have no way of making contact with them. It's too likely for them to be fraudulent. It's impossible for us to tell if we're even speaking to the real thing. It's kind of like the anonymous group. You don't know who's who or what's what, and there's no way of really factually identifying anything or evidencing any appropriations in that regard. So making contact with the Illuminati is nearly impossible, although we do have certain sources that have come forward with the alt news network that have given us certain information. We'll get to that later in the story, but to begin, the Illuminati originally started out as a group of academics, just a small group of what today might be considered kind of like college students. We didn't really have college campuses back then, but it's a similar thing. They're a group of academics who, in their free time, as an extracurricular activity, tossed around philosophical ideas. Philosophy, metaphysics, concepts regarding socio-political aspects. And they came to the general consensus understanding that their ethic in regards to socio-political metaphysics and philosophy is that if a person is in a position of authority, if you are a person that's given a position of authority and you in fact take the responsibility to assume that role as an authority figure in society, it should be expected of you to forfeit certain personal considerations and desires for the sake of serving the greater good of the people, and that you should be expected to be working in service of the people, providing service for the people. Now, if you are not providing service to the people, if you are self-serving, if you're taking from the people, if you're taking advantage of the people to serve yourself and your own interests, then in accordance with this group's ethic, it would be morally viable, or it would be an ethical responsibility for them to work towards removing and replacing you. And obviously, this is not a difficult concept to grasp. Many people got it. Anybody who heard it, it's common sense. Yeah, if you are in a position of a ruling class, a governing factor of society, it's your job to provide a service to your people. And if you are stealing from your people, if you're lying to them, if you're using them to serve yourself, then you are to be removed. It's that simple. And that is, of course, everybody agrees with that, but look at the way we play the game. Look at the politics we have in play now. The same thing is still happening. And these people, these academics, when they came together, they were of the simple common sense understanding that going back so far, even before Kemet, before Samaria, before Atlantis, even, which anybody who thinks Atlantis is a conspiracy theory, we found Atlantis. It's a real place. I don't remember offhand what we call it now. I'll get back to you on that, but it is a real place. Atlantis has always been a real place. You're going to find that a lot of these myths are actually just historical accounts. That these things did happen. They're fantastic and outrageous, but that's kind of what makes it pretty awesome to live on Earth, because there's a lot of fantastic and outrageous things happening, and have been happening forever. In any case, these academics, they held on to a certain tradition, a purpose in enlightening, illuminating, and in giving truth and knowledge freely to the people, and to serving the people. That was their purpose, to provide a service to the people, and to give the people knowledge and information freely, to not hide, to not make things secret. That was their purpose. But in that day and age, this was the times of inquisitions. You couldn't stand up and protest in public without risking your life. I mean, you could be killed. These are the days where you face the guillotine for having an opinion that doesn't perfectly agree with your given dictator. So they couldn't exactly just stand up and protest. They had to effectively become a secret society. And as I stated, it was an easy concept to grasp. So they grew in abundance. People came and flocked to them, and this was a cause that people were, at that time, people were hip to. It wasn't difficult to get people to wake up and realize that if there's something wrong with your community, you need to work together to fix it. I have no idea how it became so fucking difficult now, but back then it wasn't such an issue. Most people tended to kind of have this common sense ideal that, yeah, we should be good to each other. We should work together. And if there are people that are taking advantage of us, they sure as shit should not be ruling us. They should be removed and replaced by force if necessary. Now, I am not condoning that, but that would have been a factor back then, when this group of academics that grew into this secret society effectively became what amounted to an underground revolution, with the intention of providing free knowledge, free education to the people, and banding together toward the purpose of providing service to the people and eliminating factors or factions that were not providing service to the people, that were abusing their power. Anybody that was in a position of authority that was abusing that authority and using the people, this Illuminati would work to eliminate them one way or another. And they went about it in democratic mean, by democratic measures, of course. If possible, they would have you removed by way of outing you. But if need be, I can't give you evidence. We can't prove it. I mean, there's a few that have been proven, but they're very likely responsible for several battles, likely responsible for the beginnings of several small wars. They're most certainly responsible for various assassinations. And I don't, the Status Initiative does not condone violence or hateful activity, negativity, certainly do not condone murder. But in that day and age, if it's what needed to be done, I personally am going to tell you I'm a firm believer in doing what needs to be done. So, if there was no other way to go about it, if there was a dictator that was murdering people, that was destroying a civilization, that was, using their people for their own selfish, arrogant, greedy purposes, and there was no other way to get rid of them than to end their life, so be it. They are an illness. What do you do when you have an illness? You kill it. We are a cosmological entity. We live in a cosmological universe. How you deal with threats to your body is no different than how we should be dealing with threats to our body as a society. You got to kind of wake up and see the bigger picture and understand that we as a community are a body, and we have an illness, and it needs to be eliminated by whatever means necessary. Again, I'm not suggesting anybody should go out and kill anybody, but I am saying that sometimes dramatic measures are required, and Status Initiative is here to do what needs to be done. And in case it hasn't become clear enough yet, this Illuminati, what remains of them is us. They effectively were the beginnings of the initiative. They were the first to stand up and fight and start this revolution. What remains of the actual real Illuminati is what we are. It's us. We're fighting for the cause that they started, and it's a genuinely pure and noble cause indeed. To be of service. There is no higher calling than to be of service to your fellow people and to your world and life. Now, as I was saying about the sources that came forth to the alt news network, according to them, certain factions of the Illuminati decided to take the understandings that we have, the skills, the talents, the powers that we are able as spotters to utilize, the spot casting, spell casting, all the works that we understand, magics, hypnosis, alchemy, all of these tools that we have that can be very effective and very powerful. Certain factions of the Illuminati, as they grew bigger, got greedy. They went renegade, and they took the tools that we have, they took the greater things that we have, and they sold out. They sold it to those authority figures, those desperate, at this point, desperate dictators who had no other option because they were fighting an invisible enemy and they were losing. And so they bought these factions of the Illuminati that broke off and went renegade. And that is what effectively began this conflict that we are now in. The initiative stands as a neutral ground, of course. Always have. But it's these renegade factions that are working for one side or the other, providing them with the knowledge that it's not a secret. We're not hiding anything. But they're they effectively sold our our tools of the trade, our secret recipes, sold out our heritage and our tradition. And that's where we get the idea, or the phrase, the phraseology of, selling your soul to the devil, signing the contract, with the crossroads demon. That's where that's what where that came from, is this incident where, according to the source, the primary source is going to be Leo Zagami. You can look him up. He's going to be on the Coast to Coast crew. He'll be part of that faction of the initiative. So you can look into that there. Um, he's an Italian operative, claims to be an Italian operative of the original Illuminati. According to him, these factions broke off. They sold out, and they effectively became what we know of as the Illuminati today. These assholes, these perverted cultists that are running the show now, using our technology against us, against all of us. They took the title Illuminati, they stole it, and they stole the symbolism. They stole the heritage, our heritage, and they used it to disgrace us, to discredit us, to degrade us, to degrade these academics, these, for all intents and purposes, innocent academics who are doing nothing but fighting for the preservation of what is decent and right and ethical, and for fighting to preserve humanity and our sacred heritage as a global family, our relationship with Mother Nature, our communion with God. They that's what they were working to preserve, that, and they were working to provide service and to ensure that our people were being of service to nature and to life itself. And these greedy, arrogant sons of bitches, they stole it. They stole they stole our name, they stole our symbol, they stole our title, they stole our heritage, and they used it to make a mockery of us. And you can see it every day. You even see it in fucking Taco Bell now with their Illuminati joke commercials. This is these people that stole our lives from us, that are continuously stealing our lives from us, making fun of us for it, laughing at you, mocking you directly to your face. And what do? You go to Taco Bell and you pay them for dog food. You just gotta wake up. Just look into it. Everything I've told you here is absolutely true. You can find this information very easily. It's not hidden from you. None of this is hidden. Nothing is being hidden from you. It is not a conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy. And it's very obvious, very point blank and out in the open. The problem is you're just not looking at it. It's gotten to the point where your brain has been programmed to actively and deliberately ignore it. And so these things that are right in front of your face all the time have effectively become invisible to you. I am providing you, the initiative is working to provide you with the values that allow for you to see it. All you have to do is look, open your eyes, wake up and join the fight. because you are in a fight right now and you're losing. These people are making a fucking joke out of your existence, using you up like a battery. That story of the Matrix, it's real. It's really happening. That may not be a computer simulation, but it's the next best thing. Anyways, that's that's about as much as I can say about that at the moment, and wasted enough of your time already, right? So thank you for watching, as always. Thank you for the time. Thank you for being here. I love you guys, all of you. Um, I wish you the very best, and I hope that you share some of your stories and some of your ideas about your conspiracy theories, because it's all in good fun, you know. Nobody's wacky or crazy here. Everything's just it's all in good fun. We're all friendly conversation. So, Kila Salai, Terviguni, Siari Namaste.